Yo, Kinshasa! Welcome back to Kinshasa today. This is episode 005.
Good to be here.
And man, if you've been out and about or even just glancing at your phone lately, you definitely know what we're getting into today.
Oh, yeah.
Pastor Museum Bay and that new car.
It seems like it's the only thing people are talking about, doesn't it? From Matet to my campaign.
It really does. So, yeah, it's definitely captured everyone's attention here.
Absolutely. So for this deep dive, what we've done is gather reports from, the local online news outlets here in Kinshasa.
Right.
The idea is really just to lay out the facts as they've been reported, look at the different reactions, and try to cut through some of that social media buzz.
Get a clearer picture. Okay, let's dive in. So the big news, Pastor Museum Bay, who many know as La Réserve de l'Éternel, has apparently bought a new vehicle. And it's not just any vehicle.
No, definitely not. We're talking about a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, the 2025 model.
A Rolls-Royce. Wow. That name alone carries weight here.
It certainly does, and the reports confirm the purchase. They also give us a ballpark figure for the cost.
Okay, yeah, what are we looking at?
Well, one source puts it around 500,000 US dollars. They calculated that as roughly 296 million Congolese francs.
Wow, okay. $500,000.
But another report had a slightly different figure, $472,750 USD. So a little discrepancy, but still.
Still a huge amount of money, either way you slice it.
Exactly. A very significant sum.
And the Cullinan itself, for people maybe not up on luxury cars, what is it exactly?
Right, so it's Rolls-Royce's big entry into the SUV market. It's actually their first ever SUV and their first all-wheel drive vehicle, too.
So top-tier luxury SUV.
Pretty much the pinnacle, yeah. Think ultimate comfort, luxury, status on four wheels. Made by the British company, which is owned by BMW now.
Gotcha. And when did this news actually break?
The reports seem to have started surfacing around April 4th this year, 2025.
Okay. And, thinking about it, especially here in Kinshasa, Pastor MB isn't just some private citizen buying a fancy car.
Not at all. That's a key part of this. He's a major figure, a huge gospel music star here in the DRC, and really across Africa for, over 10 years now?
Easily. La Réserve de l'Éternel, that nickname, tells you something about his standing.
Definitely. His music tops the charts, his concerts, his spiritual messages draw enormous crowds. He has massive influence.
And beyond the music, there's his role with Cité Bethel.
Right. He's the legal representative for Cité Bethel, which is, as many listeners will know, a really significant Christian community here in the DRC. Very influential.
So he operates on multiple levels.
No.
Music, faith.
And business, too, it seems. One article mentioned a recent concert he held at the Stade des Martyrs, pointing out it was apparently very lucrative.
Interesting. So suggesting considerable financial success from his work.
Yeah, from his various activities. And the reports also mention he has a known passion for cars. This isn't his first high-end vehicle, apparently.
So this Rolls is the latest addition to a collection.
Seems that way. Which, given his public profile, maybe it shouldn't be a total shock that this purchase caused such a stir.
Right. Which brings us to the reactions, because they have been strong.
Oh, incredibly strong. As you mentioned, one outlet literally headlined it, L'étoile sous le choc. The web in shock.
Yeah, it spread like wildfire online, didn't it?
Instantly. It really ignited conversations across social media platforms.
And what's the core issue people are raising?
Well, the main point of contention seems to be this. Is it appropriate, for a prominent religious leader, a pastor, to own something so extravagant?
That level of luxury versus the expectations some people have of a man of God, basically.
Exactly. A lot of comments online, according to the reports, express indignation, disapproval. They find it hard to reconcile the image of a pastor with a $500,000 SUV.
Has Pastor Mbai himself said anything about it? Addressed the criticism?
Not according to the sources we looked at. Up to this point, apparently no public comment from him or his team on this specific purchase.
Letting the debate happen. For now, at least.
It seems so. But it's important we note, not all the reaction has been negative, or at least that's not the only perspective being reported.
Oh, what's the alternative view?
One article, interestingly, framed the purchase quite differently. It suggested seeing it as a form of inspiration.
Inspiration? How so?
The idea presented was that it could motivate young African entrepreneurs, young artists, symbolizing that faith, combined with hard work and perseverance, can lead to achieving, significant success. achieving your dreams.
Okay, that's a totally different way to look at it, from criticism to inspiration.
Quite the contrast, isn't it?
It really makes you think, especially sitting here in Kinshasa.
Yeah.
How are people actually feeling about this on the ground, beyond the loudest voices online?
Exactly. It touches on these bigger conversations we seem to be having constantly in the city about wealth, about faith, about public figures and expectations.
Yeah, because Kinshasa isn't just one thing, right? We have so many different economic realities living side by side.
Precisely. So a purchase like this, on this scale, it's inevitably going to land differently depending on who you ask, their background, their own situation.
For some, it might just highlight, the gaps, the inequalities.
It could certainly amplify those feelings, yes. But for others, like that article suggested, maybe it genuinely is seen as a symbol of making it, success earned through talent and dedication.
It sort of exposes that tension, doesn't it, between maybe more traditional views of religious leadership and this growing visibility of entrepreneurial success, even within faith communities?
I think that's a great way to put it. That tension is palpable in the reactions, the shock versus the inspiration.
Okay, so let's just recap the key points quickly. Pastor Muzim Mbaye, major gospel artist, leader at Cité Bethel, buys Rolls-Royce Cullinan in 2025, costing somewhere around $500,000 US. News breaks early April.
Right, and the reaction online is swift and divided. You've got criticism, shock, questions about appropriateness for a pastor.
And then this other perspective, framing it as potential inspiration, a symbol of achievement through faith and hard work.
And crucially, Pastor Mbia himself hasn't publicly weighed in on the purchase or the debate surrounding it, as far as reports indicate. And just to reiterate for everyone listening, our aim here in this deep dive was really just to present what the local news sources have reported.
Laying it out clearly.
Yeah, giving you the different sides of the story as they're being told here in Kinshasa, without us adding our own layer of opinion on top. Just clarity.
Definitely. And it leaves you with questions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, what does all this discussion really say about us here in Kinshasa right now? About our values? How do we view success? How do we view wealth when it shows up in different parts of our society? Like music, like faith. It's food for thought.
It really is. It prompts a wider reflection, I think, on how we as a community interpret these visible signs of wealth, especially when connected to figures we hold in high regard, like religious leaders. What narratives about success and prosperity are really resonating in our city today?
Good question. All right, well, that wraps up our deep dive on the Pastor Muzim Mbaye Rolls-Royce story for this edition of Kinshasa Today.
Episode 005 in the bag.
That's right. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope this gave you some clarity. Catch you next time for another look at what's shaping our city.